Welcome to Scream Blast Repeat. Today, we have a treat for those that like extreme, avant-garde, and dark forms of metal. At number 7, we have Os Abysmi Veldath from Celtic Frost's 2006 comeback album, Monotheist.
I'm drowning in this sea. For those I love, I hurt. So you take it from me. My name untold. I deny my own desire. I deny my own desire. Lying one among deniers, I deny my own desire. Where I am, there is no pain, no God, no.
Celtic Frost's return in 2006 after a 16-year hiatus is the comeback of all comebacks. They dropped their guitar tunings to B, set their amps to bleed, and slowed their tempos to a gratuitous sludge metal blaze. You could pick at least 5 tracks from the Monotheist album as instant classics, but Os Abysmi Veldath is the one that captures all the right ingredients. Here, iron forgery sounds give way to a monstrous downtuned belch of palm-muted guitars and morbid vocal projections as clouds of feedback whistle in the background. An ethereal second guitar leaves an aching pitch bend wavering by a quarter step in the lead up to Tom's declaration of "I deny my own desire" in the bridge to the chorus. You want to insert a masculine grunt at the beginning of each new riff, which makes the intrusion of female operatics even more of a surprise in the second round of verses. In hindsight, you can hear Celtic Frost's influence on Neurosis and the latter's influence on the Swiss Legends in the same song. And forget about a guitar solo, how about a hostile noise track of throat singing samples and blistering furnaces? It works to great effect as an interlude between choruses and allows the band to raise the tempo at the climax for a low-end thrash metal attack. This is where Celtic Frost buried the ghost of Cold Lake once and for all. At number 6, we have Wings of Solitude from Celtic Frost's 1990 album, Vanity Nemesis. Now, you wouldn't expect a Beauty and the Beast song to start with a death grunt, but this is probably the first ever goth metal song, led by sorrowful female vocals and contrasted with a gruff male voice in the chorus. The clean guitars in the melodic verses sound like harpsichords. Listen how French singer Michelle Aymar reaches for a belting contralto approach in the galloping chorus as Tom harmonizes her words with no concern for being in perfect tune. Clearly, Paradise Lost, Tiamat and Anathema found it enthralling enough to add their own perspective to this novel combination later down the line. Wings of Solitude is also one of the few Celtic Frost songs to rip through the fretboard with a shredding hair metal solo. Emotions run high, sometimes into a wild agitation. Amar's luscious French accented voice aches with a spellbinding loneliness until the release at the end when Tom signals a transition to the last passage with his signature death grunt. What more do you want from a Celtic Frost song? At number 5, we have Circle of the Tyrants from Celtic Frost's 1985 album To Megatherion. There's a reason why the rock press lumped Celtic Frost in with the emerging thrash metal bands of the time, and that's because of track number 6 from their influential 1985 LP To Megatherion. Starting with a vicious blaze of sharp fifth chords and leading into a headbanging palm-muted rhythm, Circle of the Tyrant stands out for its heroic tom drum fills and menacing vocal lines that sound like a man with meat hooks piercing through his shoulders. Listen how the band dispense with the first chorus and embrace the second act with a muscle-flexing doom metal groove. Tom G. Warrior's guitar solo is noisy and ignorant of any musical theory, but 100% suited to the mood and presence of the song. Vicious and yet triumphant in its muscular posture and covered by the likes of Obituary, Opeth, Incantation, and Propane, this track is heavy enough to sound down-tuned even though it's in standard E tuning. That's because Celtic Frost had the chunkiest guitar tone of the 1980s. Metallica and Slayer played faster, but they seldom reached this level of brutality. At number 4 we have I Won't Dance, the Elders Orient from the 1987 album Into the Pandemonium. If To Megatherion planted the seed for an avant-garde vision of heavy metal, Into the Pandemonium nurtured it into a highbrow reality. The band's 1987 classic boasts some of the heaviest and darkest songs of their career, and some of the most astounding genre-smashing efforts like the Dead Can Dance serenade of Tristesse de la Lune. Yet the catchiest and most playful track is I Want Dance, the Elder's Orient, which might be the first ever attempt at a metal opera piece. Here Tom chugs at his guitar strings like a man ramping up the engine of a speedboat as Reed St. Mark thunders behind him from the drum stool. Hark how the duet in the bridge floors you with its sudden infusion of melody. Where did those vocals come from as they dig into your veins like morphine? Tom's bloodthirsty vocal inflections provide a wonderful contrast to the enchanting female echoes, and Helmet's Paige Hamilton would be proud of the feedback-drenched guitar solo, but this song is all about the anthemic chorus. Who'd have thought that the man who formed Hellhammer would one day write a sensual affair like this with the pomp and glory of a musical theatre production? Coming in at number 3 is Procreation of the Wicked from Celtic Frost's debut 1984 record, Morbid Tales. Is Procreation of the Wicked the first ever sludge metal song? It's hard to think of a more influential guitar riff on the genre than the reverse string bend and palm-muted crunch at its core. Covered by Metallica, Mayhem, Mortician, Sepultura and Enslaved, this is vintage Celtic Frost. Tom's vocals gurgle like a man drowning in his own blood, Martinen's bass lines stalk the gaps like a prowling creature, and Reed St. Mark pounds his drums as if recalling the glory days of John Bonham at Madison Square Garden. They paid as much attention to this song in Seattle as they did in Bergen, and you can hear its towering influence today on every metal band that anchors their sound in a grinding mid-tempo dirge. You can be the guitar hero, the cult leader, and the doomsayer all in one song. How can something so primitive be so enjoyable? That's the paradox of this music. At number 2, we have Necromantic Screams from the band's 1985 album To Megatherion. We laud artists ahead of their time, yet Celtic Frost's 1985 album was an immediate influence on the proto-death and black metal bands coming into fruition. It was also light years away from anything in contemporary metal with its classical elements, Wagnerian horn arrangements, and female soprano vocals. Nothing encapsulates this better than closing track Necromantic Screams, which we'd call black and death doom or avant-garde metal if it came out today. Coated in thick guitar overdrive and built around an abrupt sequence of fifth chord placements, this composition makes every second of its 6 minutes count. The aharmonic minor verse with dual vocals, the sudden uplift in tempo for the pre-chorus, the tension release in the half-timing drums of the chorus, the imperious rotary valves of the French horn announcing the presence of death incarnate. This is a song that helped to make heavy metal a serious art form. Celtic Frost would expand on their idea here for 1987's Into the Pandemonium, but this is where the heavy metal historian can pinpoint the origins of avant-garde metal. At number 1, we have Cherry Orchards from the band's 1988 underrated album Cold Lake. Oh, wait, what the fuck? Yep, just kidding. So, what do we have at number 1 in the top 7 Celtic Frost songs of all time? Drum roll, please. At number 1, we have Dethroned Emperor from the band's 1984 debut record, Morbid Tales. Like Venom's Welcome to Hell, track 4 from Celtic Frost's debut has been ripped off more times than Megadeth have changed their lineup. In the case of Napalm Death's legendary Scum album, they used it as their basis for at least 4 songs. And yet it's a simple act of rock posturing played with savage glee and introduced with a cowbell before the band get into gear and make your nostrils flare. The key to Dethroned Emperor is its disregard for repetition while staying faithful to its catchy elements. The morbid downward scrape of the E chord and ringing doom of the chorus are as dark as anything you'll hear in metal in the 1980s. Listen to the abrupt drop out to the vibrato heavy guitar contemplation at the halfway mark as Tom navigates his way to a chaotic solo armed with no musical knowledge or care for playing the Western music scales. Covered over the years by Anthrax, Vader, Cancer, Vital Remains, and even The Gathering, Dethroned Emperor is Celtic Frost in full body armour at their fearsome best. So, what do you think of this list? How could we miss the Usurper and Rex Irae Requiem from the final 7? Why is there only one song from Into the Pandemonium? What about Drowning Ashes from the Monotheist album? And are we simply too snobbish to consider a song from Cold Lake for fear of being ridiculed? Let's address some of these concerns. These are the 7 honourable mentions. Jewel Throne from the 1985 album To Megatherion. Inner Sanctum from the 1987 album Into the Pandemonium. Caress into Oblivion Jade Serpent 2 from Into the Pandemonium. The Heart Beneath from the 1990 album Vanity Nemesis. Nemesis from the 1990 album Vanity Nemesis. Ground from the 2006 album Monotheist. and Drowning Ashes, also from the 2006 Monotheist record. Thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Facebook, and more importantly, please visit our website at www.screamblastrepeat.com for the latest album and EP reviews from established, up-and-coming and unsigned artists in the worlds of experimental, extreme metal, prog, and dark alternative.